Welcome today to The Medium with Celeste. Welcome back. Today we're taking our teaching lesson outside.
Today's teaching moment is brought to you by the great outdoors. It's an important topic, and the outdoors is a great place to do what we're going to talk about today. Today's topic is meditation. I get a lot of people who say they can't meditate, and I feel like that is the biggest complaint I hear. And the reason we often can't meditate has more to do with how we're doing it or how we're starting rather than the inability to shut our minds off. The act of meditation requires a person to use their time in silence, according to most. But meditation can be done many ways. The idea of meditation, the very concept of meditation, is to shut off the brain. And often we can do that with simple things during the day when we're stressed out, like taking a walk and singing along to your favorite songs. I'm willing to bet you that if you're singing along with AC/DC, you're probably not thinking about the bills you have to pay. There's also the act of coloring and various other activities like exercise that can be used as meditation or as a way to silence one's brain. The benefit of those is not as great as silent meditation, but it's just as good. Some people use meditation as a way to connect to their higher selves, to connect with spirits, to connect with guides, to connect with angels. Some people just want to shut their brain off. One of the great techniques that I learned when I was talking with a Buddhist monk and I asked them about different ways to meditate, they said the best place to start is within yourself and to just sit quietly. So breathing in and counting your breath in and then counting your breath out and doing that repeatedly for the first few minutes and then just listening to the breath. Then if your brain starts to wander and think about how you owe a car payment next week or you need to get groceries for a meal, then you can re-establish your brain pattern by saying, "Thank you for the reminder, this is my quiet time." And then you start counting your breath again. I always suggest to people that you start off small if you have a really busy brain. So start off with just 5 minutes a day to try to just count the breath and see how far you get. And then add a couple more minutes, add a couple more minutes, and then continue the process. As you continue, what happens is, just like with exercise, you develop what's called a muscle memory. And your mind starts to recognize, okay, at 6 o'clock at night, we're sitting on this pillow by this wall, or we're sitting in this chair or this couch at this time, and we've been doing the same thing over and over. So obviously it's our quiet time. And with those practices, as difficult as they are, which yes, they are, it's not easy for all of us to practice all the time, it will help eventually make the meditation easier and the silence more accessible. Our brains are designed to keep working. I mean, if they stop working, we stop breathing. Our heart stops beating. So it's important that our mind still works. It's okay that you hear outside noises. It's okay that you're recognizing things happening around you. Meditation isn't about closing everything out because we're not in a Buddhist monastery where there's nothing else around us to do. We're in the real world with a ton of things that need to get done. So with meditation, take your time, make it a daily practice. I don't recommend laying down because most of us, when we lay down, our heads will naturally tip forward, which will cut off our oxygen and make us more tired. Unless you're gonna put a neck roll under your neck so your head is elevated, it's not a good practice to get into. Not only that, but your muscle memory says, I'm laying on my bed, it's time to sleep. So if you're falling asleep, that's why. So muscle memory is going to be important, and daily practice is important. But meditation is attainable for all of us. It's just time and practice. And if you can take an introduction class with someone, do that, because at least they can help you hone your skills.
We're back in studio today with Joe. Hi, Joe. Nice to meet you. Thank you for coming here.
Thanks for having me.
I am going to just very quickly be quiet for a moment to ground and balance and center myself, and then we'll get started, okay?
Absolutely.
There's like a pile of people behind you.
Oh, good, I guess. Is that good or bad? I don't know.
Well, I mean, as we reach certain milestones in our life, more and more people pass, unfortunately. Right. But I have like a horseshoe of people around you. There's like 5 people specifically. So I'm gonna do my best to reach out to as many of them as possible.
Cool.
I step. Those are new words. I step in on your dad's side first.
Okay.
I'm listening. I'm listening. It's literally like listening to a bunch of people chit-chatting right now.
Okay.
I don't know if your dad's side of the family was close, but they're all like back and forth. So I just want to honor that and let you know that that's happening. So every time I go to talk to them, they start talking at the same time. Your dad's passed?
Yes.
And he said hello, obviously.
Hey, Dad.
He said he tried very hard to be a good role model. That was important to him. Does that make sense?
Sure.
He said, but he had his own personal struggles. We all do. Does that make sense?
He just worked hard. He didn't have anything really.
He feels like, he said, that's my mistake. He said, we spend all our life working hard to provide, and we miss out on having fun.
Right.
He said, you've had more fun in your life, though.
Yes, I have.
You've made an effort to enjoy your life, and that makes him happy. That as a role model, you didn't take that part on, that burden of work, and not realize that life is important to also live, not just provide. Does that make sense?
Yeah, sure.
I feel like you look a little bit like him.
Yeah, pretty much.
There's similarities between the two of you.
Right.
I do see some of your mother's side in you, but mostly Dad.
Okay, I'm better looking than you.
Yeah. He's like, we'll talk about that when you get here.
Oh, God.
Your dad has a pretty good sense of humor. He seems pretty laid back overall.
Yep.
He doesn't seem like he's high strung. He doesn't feel militarian in his way of parenting. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
and he loved you. Like, he loves his family deeply. Does that make sense?
Sure.
He said he keeps talking about you taking vacations or you taking trips. Did you come back from a vacation, or are you due for a vacation? Because he keeps showing you on a plane.
I haven't had a vacation in a long time, actually, a couple of years. But I'm trying to figure one out so I can get out of here soon. Yeah.
Because he said you need to breathe. You need to have. That's a horrible way to say it. You need to just get away for a while.
Right. Absolutely.
Because I don't know that your life is super stressful, but I feel like monotony itself is what can kind of be stressful at times.
For sure.
Does that make sense?
That's for sure. Yeah. Kind of flatlined.
Yeah.
Same old thing all the time.
Yeah, yeah.
So that, I think what we all go through a lot of times,
It just feels stagnant, and I feel like you just need to get out and laugh.
Right.
I just hear laughter, like you need to laugh.
Yep.
Does that make sense?
Sure. Wow.
Your dad goes, I hope your roof is okay. Your dad said to me that you're pretty handy overall, which is when it started raining, he was talking about your roof. But he said you're smart enough to hire people to do what you don't know how to do.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah.
He's laughing. He's like, we try to do it up to a point, and then we realize maybe we can't do it so much.
Yeah.
He talks about your mother a lot. He loved her dearly.
Yeah.
And I feel like just so much love.
Yep.
Your father said, I died much younger than I wanted to.
That's true. Yeah, he died 61. Yeah.
Yeah. He never got to enjoy retirement. He never got to really just embrace that part of life that we all kind of work to look forward to doing that.
Right.
We're like, oh, someday I get to retire and just enjoy.
Very true.
And he didn't get that opportunity.
Right. Yep.
And he feels bad for your mother.
Right.
That they didn't get to do the things they wanted to do together.
Right.
Does that make sense?
Absolutely, yeah.
But he loved your mother to pieces. And I don't know if your mother moved on or she has a companion, but I do see somebody with her. Whether that's just family and friends, but I don't feel like she feels alone.
Yeah, she's in a nursing home now, actually, with a roommate, but someone in the room. But
because I see all kinds of people around her. That's why.
Yeah, my sisters visit her a lot.
She's a pretty smart lady, your mother. He said she was very smart, and he wants to honor that, and I need to. He said he goes in and checks on her often.
Good.
Was she not up and walking very well?
Not very mobile, no, at this point, yeah.
Because I feel like she can like get up and transfer maybe to and from with assistance, but I'm not seeing her walking long distances or anything.
Yeah, it's true.
Does that make sense?
Yep.
Is she out of the state right now?
No, she's actually in Avon. She's close.
Because he keeps saying you don't get to see her as much as you want.
No, don't.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's just personal life.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
But you were married?
No.
You were never married? He keeps showing somebody by your side, though.
Wishful thinking, no.
You were in a relationship?
Not lately, no.
Okay, but he keeps talking. I will tell him. I will argue with him, I promise. But he said there was a point where you had a longer-term relationship. Is that
way back when?
Okay.
Yeah, way back when, yeah.
Was that after he passed, though, still? Because I don't see him.
Before.
Okay.
Before, yeah.
He said, you deserve happiness. You deserve to find that right person.
Right.
And he said, I don't want to tell him that, but we're going to be arguing. He said, I don't know why you don't put yourself out there.
Right.
Does that make sense?
Yep.
Because I feel like you're a good guy. I will tell him, I feel like you're a good catch for anybody.
Yeah.
And he said to me, you just need to make it known that you're there.
Right.
Does that make sense?
Makes sense, yeah.
Okay. Because I feel like you're hiding.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Got a wall.
Yeah. You're like.
Yeah, definitely.
And he said, I want you to be happy.
Right.
So I need to give that to you.
Right.
And do you feel like there's potential to meet somebody?
I think if I commit to it, I just, it's just one of those things where I'm just involved in work and a couple other things I just don't do the dating scene. I just don't work at it. I just don't. It probably should be a priority. It never has been a priority for whatever reason. I don't know why. I've always had friends and people around.
Yeah.
I'm not like lonely or anything, but it wasn't ever, you get to a certain point in your life where, you have a lot of people dating yourself, then you get to the point where it's like, why bother? Unfortunately.
But he said to me, I will tell him. Part of the reason it was never a priority, like you said, is because you were enjoying life.
Right.
It wasn't like there was something missing. You've always been comfortable within yourself.
Right.
You never needed somebody to fill a half.
Right.
Does that make sense?
Right. It's never a priority for me,
No.
unfortunately. Maybe it should have been at some point, you know what I mean? Or maybe when I was younger. Look at that. I'm not a big picture kind of guy.
Yeah.
And I never looked at the big picture.
You do it day to day.
Day to day. Week to week, day to day, yeah. Hour to hour.
Minute to minute. Like, I'm doing okay right now.
Yeah, exactly right. That's kind of how I roll. I don't know why I'm like that, but yeah, it's kind of been that way.
Your mother, your mother's mother, your grandma on mom's side, wants to talk to you. You knew her briefly?
Briefly, yeah.
Because I feel like maybe you were 3, 4 when she passed. Like, I feel like you have a picture memory of grandma.
Yeah. She was in a wheelchair, I believe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She just wanted to tell you, don't worry, she's taking care of mom.
Oh, good. Okay. It's good to know.
Do you do a lot of work? Whatever you're doing, are you over 8 hours sometimes? Or do you have to put in extra hours?
Yeah, it's 9 to 10 hours a day, salary-wise.
Okay.
Yeah, 6 days a week, yeah.
Because your grandma said you work too much, but you're nearing retirement.
It's true.
So what are you, a few years off from retirement?
A year.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because she said you need to now, because of who you are, you're a work hog. Mm-hmm. I call them workaholics or work hogs. Like, your life is about your job, your work.
Right.
Your existence revolves around that, your charity work, etc.
Right.
Does that make sense? So she said to me, she goes, you have to make plans when you're done working, when you retire. Right. What else are you going to do?
Right.
What's your next job, so to speak? Because I don't think you could exist comfortably without things to do.
Right.
Does that make sense?
Yep.
Because she's like, I don't want you to be one of those people who retires and sits down and goes, well, I've got nothing left to do.
Watching TV shows all day. I don't want to do that.
Yeah. So she's like, it's kind of like planning. Are you going to do more volunteer work? Are you going to, find other things to do? Do you have friends you can hang out with?
Right.
Do you have friends who passed?
Yeah, a bunch of friends, yeah.
I have a bunch of people I know behind you, a bunch of your friends.
Everybody.
So I want to honor that they come in. I have a gentleman here. He seems to have died younger, though. I don't know if he was only in his 50s. He looks like a young guy. He seems like a good friend, though. He seems like, I don't want to say a best friend, but he feels like a really good friend, a confidant, somebody you spent time with.
Right.
I don't know. I don't get names, so I couldn't give you his name.
Okay.
But he said, you know who I'm talking about.
Maybe Donnie.
Because he has a good sense of humor, too. Like, I feel like he's fun.
Yeah.
He's a lot of fun to hang out with. I feel like when we're with him, we're all laughing.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay. And he said to me, he goes, he comes in almost with a brother vibration with you. He said, our friends, there's a group of you guys, are like brothers. Like, we all have each other's back. Does that make sense?
Yeah, years ago, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
He said to me, you have new friends now, though.
Yeah, new area.
Yeah, okay.
Moved from that area.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because he goes to me, he's like, friends have shifted.
Yeah.
So I need to honor that. But he said to me, he wanted to come in and he said, I just want to let him know how much I appreciate him and what a good friend you were.
Yeah, he was my boss, I think. That's the guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He goes to me, he goes, I just need to come in and say hello to you. I know you have other people you want to talk to. I'm not first and foremost.
He was a good guy.
But he feels very much like a friend, a buddy, like somebody you just laugh with and have a good time.
A lot of fun.
You have other friends like that now. He said, so he wants to honor that he's not the only fun guy in the world.
Yeah.
Is there someone else you want to talk to?
My sister.
What's her name?
Joyce.
Let me grab her.
Okay.
Okay. She's, first of all, I like Joyce. I like her energy. She's got a smile on her face. I feel like that's how she was in life. Does that make sense? She always had a smile on her face for the most part?
Yeah, pretty much, yeah.
She keeps saying she wasn't ready to go, but who is, right?
Right.
But she feels young to me.
Right.
She looks young. She might be older than I think she is, but she looks young. Does that make sense? That's a weird way to say it.
Yeah.
You're like, I don't remember.
Yeah, I mean, she kind of looked her age. I mean, it's not in a bad way, but she didn't look.
She's like, no, don't tell her that.
Yeah, she looked fine, but she didn't look like.
So was she in her 50s, early 60s?
50s,
okay.
Yeah.
See, I'll be your friend. I'll say that she would look like she was in her mid-40s. I'll give it to her. I'm making friends with her. She won't talk to me. She's funny. She said that she did have some sort of illness or some sort of sickness that took her life. Does that make sense?
Yeah, cancer, yeah.
Okay. And she talks about breathing her lungs, within her lungs, like towards the end. I don't know if they filled up with fluids or there was some issue there. But she said towards the end, the hardest part was just feeling like I had energy to breathe or feeling like I had energy to do anything. But she did fight. She knew it was a hopeless fight,
right?
But she did fight as much as she could just to get that little bit of extra time. Does that make sense?
A little bit. Yeah.
She left some people behind that she loved very much, and she does need to honor that. Besides you,
right?
You two were close.
Not that close.
She said, "I knew I could always count on you."
Yeah, no, it wasn't like it was. I was the oldest of our five kids, so.
But she could always count on you.
The second one, yeah.
She said,
like our lives were kind of like separate. You know, I didn't see her as much as I should have, probably.
She said it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
That's life, though.
Yeah.
She goes, I was busy doing my stuff,
right,
and you were busy living your life and existing and having fun with your friends.
Right.
And she goes, I didn't always understand your lifestyle.
Right.
But she goes, I was also slightly envious of that, that you just had the freedom that you did during those time periods.
Free spirit, yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yes, it does.
And she's not much of a free spirit. She was more of a caregiver.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, pretty much.
She was married?
Yep.
And did she have children? Because she shows kids.
Yeah, a boy and a girl.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you still keep in touch with them, or you know what's going on with them at least?
A little bit.
Okay.
Not too much, so a little bit.
Because she said to me, they're all doing okay.
Yeah.
That's all. She's like, I feel like I was a good enough mother that they could survive my loss.
Right.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
But are there other sisters that in the family?
Yeah, 2 more sisters, yeah.
Okay.
They're here.
And she talks, who's the youngest of the sisters, not the youngest kid?
Yeah, Jane.
Okay. And you do talk to Jane?
Yeah.
Okay. Because I see you talking to Jane, I don't want to say frequently, but probably as one of the more frequent communications.
Yeah.
A lot about mom?
Yep.
I hear you guys talking a lot about mom. Mm-hmm. Does that make sense?
A little bit, yep.
Okay. She said you're taking, she keeps saying, tell Jane I said hello, though. I don't know why.
Right.
But tell Jane she said hello.
Right. Well.
I don't know that she was closer to Jane than anyone else. But she did say you talked to her probably more frequently. You may talk to her sooner than anybody else.
Right.
Kind of thing.
Yeah, I actually live with her.
Oh, okay. So tell her she said hello.
I will.
She said Jane has a big heart, and she's working very hard to make sure everybody's good.
Right.
Does that make sense?
It does, yeah, definitely.
Jane is just such a sweetheart. Did Jane help her when she was sick?
Yeah, she's the one that kind of got the ball rolling with that, yeah.
Okay, because she said Jane was always there for me.
Yeah.
Maybe not always physically present, but always making sure everything that needed to be done was done. I see her on the phone.
Oh my God, yeah, all the time.
Like, blah, blah, blah,
I think it's attached.
Yeah, so I need to honor that.
Her job is communications with over the phone a lot of times, yeah.
Yeah, so I just see her on the phone and checking her emails. But she said to me, she overextends herself, though. Jane.
Definitely.
And she said, Jane needs to take a breather once in a while.
Absolutely.
She said, but with you, she goes, I want you to not be afraid to take bigger steps out there. You have money in savings. I'm not going to dispute all your finances and tell all your finances. She said, financially, you're going to be okay in this world.
Okay.
You haven't been super frivolous, but you definitely had some learning curves in life. Does that make sense?
Absolutely, yep.
And she said, you're coming out of all that now, and you're going to be fine.
Okay.
Because you worry about that.
Right.
I keep seeing someone looking like almost as if you were an accountant looking at your budgets and all that stuff and what's next for you.
Right.
She talks about you possibly moving when you retire. You were thinking of moving away?
Yes, I got a friend in Dallas and a friend in Florida.
Yeah. I see warm. I don't feel. I don't know. I will tell him. She said Dallas is more your vibe, though.
Yeah.
Than Florida.
Yeah, definitely.
Because she's like, he's going to mention Florida. If he mentions Florida, tell him. No. Dallas. She sends you to Dallas. She says it's affordable. There's great things to do around there.
Yeah, Dallas is a choice.
There's a great community like just outside of Dallas where you can get into Dallas at somewhat of a decent time.
Right.
Everything's 2 hours away there.
Right.
But there's great communities there that just outside of Dallas where there's walking. There's places you can sit down, have a beer, listen to music, whatever.
Right.
Like I feel like there's stuff you can do, which is going to be so important.
Right.
And I do keep seeing you with somebody by your side, so I don't think you're going to be alone. But she said probably not until you retire, when you have time to invest in having a partner, not a marriage or anything like that, but somebody to share your life with and share your adventures with. Because that's all I think you need.
Right.
You don't need somebody in your space 24/7.
Right.
You've lived alone too long to put up with that.
Good point. Very good.
But she sends you so much love. She is just a very sweet lady. She's a little straightforward, though.
Yeah.
You know, she's not sugarcoating anything.
Right.
There are things that I haven't said that she said because of the cameras, but she is very direct about things.
Right.
But when you were mentioning Florida, she's like,
yeah.
That's a big no.
Yeah.
Do you have anyone, or do you have any questions for her, or anything you want to ask them about upcoming life in general, or anyone else you really want to talk to, maybe come through?
Let me think. Nobody really recently that I've lost. Besides Joyce was like 8 years ago.
Yeah.
Prior to that, where I used to live, friends would come and go and pass and whatnot. That was one of the other guy that we talked about. Let me see who else I can think of.
But you're good in life.
Yeah, I kind of accept what it is type thing. It's always been my philosophy. You can't worry about yesterday or 10 years ago or 20 years ago. You can't change what happened in the past. You can just learn from it and move on and get better.
Your sister goes, I wish I was more like that.
Yeah, I made a bunch of mistakes when I was younger like everyone else did, but I've totally recovered from that and on a good path. But unfortunately, age and time and you're moving on, and so you're limited in other things you probably can do with the knowledge that you've gained in the last 20, 30 years. If I was like this 30 years ago, I would be in a whole different place, but you can't change it, obviously. So my thought process is try to do the best you can with what you got, and that's what I try to do. Try to accept what I'm doing now and try to do some good things. The things I miss most is that I have a profession where I don't help people. I used to be a teacher coach, and I enjoy helping people and giving and I get more satisfaction out of seeing people happy than make myself happy. And I haven't done that in a long time because I haven't coached or taught in a long time. So that's what I miss that. It was a big part of me, and I gave that up years ago. I shouldn't have done it, but it is what it is. So.
But your sister said you could always do it again.
Right. It's always the mantra, but it's kind of easier said than done. It's a hard thing to do when you get past a certain level. You know? I like the television aspect. I've been doing some work, in sports and stuff, so I like doing that.
Yeah.
That's my thing. So.
Good.
I like doing that. But as far as somebody to talk to.
That's okay.
Yeah, I can't think of.
I'm not going to make you pull up the list.
Yeah,
it's all good.
Can't think of anybody.
But thank you for coming. Really appreciate it.
How about I can ask a question about my dog?
Okay.
He's kind of sick. He's older. Anything on that? He's a golden.
Everybody always asks about their dogs. Is he like 9 years old up there?
He's
almost
older.
Double digits?
Yeah, he's probably almost 12 or 13 for a golden. That's amazing, yeah.
Okay.
Kind of got a hacking cough, so.
Yeah, he's got. He said to me, he goes, I'm just old. Did he have a buddy, though, that he played with? Or was there another buddy in the house?
There was a cat that I lost.
Okay.
That I had 18 years. Yeah.
Okay. Was that his buddy, though? They kind of sort of got along?
A little bit. Oh, he gets along with everybody, yeah.
He's like, the cat didn't always like me, but I like the cat.
Yeah.
Okay.
He likes everybody. He's got 2 new cats now, though. So.
Yeah. What was your cat's name?
Jet.
Jet says hello, by the way.
Jet was my buddy. Yeah.
Jet was your 4-legged son.
Buddy. Oh, yeah, he was.
Yeah.
It was my family, yeah.
Yeah, he said that's my daddy. So I need to honor that too. But your dog said to me, I can't diagnose, I'm not a vet, but whatever's going on feels like, I almost feel like I have excessive phlegm or extra something that's like a tickle in my throat that's making me cough.
Yeah.
So I don't know if it's just like an allergy or there's something more serious, but he just keeps going. He's just a trooper.
Yeah, he's tough.
So
tough.
I'll give you that because he's like, I'm going to be fine. He doesn't want to admit that he's an old dog. So.
Yes.
I see white. He's got little white.
He's golden.
Yeah, is he starting to get white on his muzzle, or is that just his way of saying he's an old man?
A little bit white, yeah.
A little bit white, but not a lot.
No, not
but
too
I just
much.
see these little white fur dots.
Yeah,
he's like dogs are lucky. We don't get to look we don't have to look in the mirror to see how old we look. So I'm going to give this to you, and I'm going to leave you with that.
Okay.
You're welcome.
Okay.
Thanks so much for coming.
Thank you, Celeste. Thank you.
It was nice to meet you.
Appreciate it.
Thanks for joining us today. And remember, today is your day to shine. And we look forward to seeing you again.